Hi, everybody. Okay, so I wanted to share my story in its entirety, right? I also didn't want to take up valuable Bible study time in sharing my testimony and story, although it does tie into Bible study. Hey, everybody coming in, Not Crazy, White Rabbit, Dragon Mama, Kim Maple Syrup, Frankie, Lulu, Dragon Mama Mindy. If I've missed you, I see you. I see you. Thank you for being here. And some parts of my story are not for the faint of heart, right? I've actually got it better than some, and I've got it worse than others, right? Everybody's story is valuable, and everybody's story is worth taking a listen to. That's why I initially started my channel, right? I started my channel to feature people that, hey, Mama, two of us. Oh my gosh. Let me write that down so that I can pray for you. What's going on? Hey, Freeside. Give me just a second. I've got my pad right here. All right. Well, Lulu, if you want to come up, I can definitely give you a link. I just need somebody to hold my hand while I do this, right? Because it's not easy putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable, even though I doxed myself because I wanted to take that power back from those that dox, right? And yes, I'm camming up Bish because I feel like that sharing my story, I want you guys to, hey, Army Vet, I wanted you guys to get a sense of who I really am and what motivates me to be the person that I am today. Because I'll be 50 this year, and to be honest with you, if I would have learned these life lessons any earlier, any later, I would have been me. And I hope that makes sense to anybody, or everybody. I also want to preface this before I go any further. This is not a cash grab. This is not a pity. This is not. This is not a way to get pity. I felt led by the Lord to share my testimony, and when the Lord tells you to do something, you do it because somebody out there needs to hear what I'm about to say, right? And I know that I've shared part of it on Gypsy's channel, part of my journey on Gypsy's channel, but I've not shared everything with you guys, right? Well, I have in not so many ways. Like I'll say something here or there. And sometimes if you don't catch it, you just don't catch it. And I hope you guys can hear me. Can y'all hear me okay? If you see me looking over this way, it's because my text is, or my YouTube is actually right over here. Yeah, this isn't a cash grab, or I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I feel like somebody needs to hear what I'm about to say. So with that being said, I'm going to cut my camera off for just a second. Okay. Oh my gosh, you about had me flip. All right. So I am going to start this out. This is actually like a preface to Bible study, right? I feel like sharing your testimony to others is something we're called to do as followers of the Lord. And I've not been really good at doing that, right? You guys get bits and pieces here and there. Hey, Cool Gamer. but you don't get the whole story in one lump sum. So I'm going to start by saying I thank the Lord every day for the bus ministry. As a child, I went to church at 5 years old without my parents because the bus people came and picked us up and they dropped us off. Thank the Lord for that. Because I don't know that I would have known about the Lord any other way. My mom, my mom wanted a little bit of quality time with Dad, because the weekends were the only time they actually got to see each other because both my parents worked. So she wanted some quality time on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, whatever, with my dad. So she sent me and my older brother to church. And that was from the age of 5 till about 10 or 11 ish. And at that time, we lived out in the country. I grew up in a trailer park from the age of 0 to 12 years old. Nothing wrong with trailer parks. Nothing wrong with growing up in a trailer. But the school that I went to, we were considered trailer trash because everybody around us lived in subdivisions and houses, or just houses, right? So there was definitely stigma there placed upon me. But, I count these as life lessons. I don't count these as woe is me. And I occasionally have my pity parties. You can ask Rabbit. She's heard lots of them. But as long as I'm able to verbalize, I get over it fairly quickly. Because it's sort of like rationalizing stuff in my head. Anyway, all that to say. Oh, I'm hearing me. All right, Lulu, I'm going to mute you till you get that fixed. How's that? Yeah, we love trailer parks around here for sure. All that to say, I thank the Lord every day that my mom had enough wherewithal and trusted the churches enough to send us to church, so that I could learn from an early age the Lord. Hadn't read the Bible, hadn't even, I carried a Bible, but I'd never read one word. Yeah, oh, she fell off the cracker. I'm sorry. Anyway, fast forward, because from 12 to about 16-ish, like, I visited a couple churches, but didn't go to church regularly, right? At 16, well, no, not 16. It was probably about 13 to 14, 13 to about 16, right? That age range right there. Anytime that I knew of a vacation Bible school, a church being open, prayer meeting, Wednesday night, Sunday night, I was there for it, right? I'd bum rides with neighbors. I would go to churches with this little old lady that lived across the street from us. Hey, Dodie. And I just loved being in church. I felt like I was at home. And there's nothing like feeling you belong. There's nothing like the sense of feeling like you belong somewhere, right? Hey, Lulu. So fast forward a couple more years. I turned 17. I turned 17 and I discovered boys and ended up getting pregnant and having a child at 18. At that time, I was not in church. I wasn't going to church. This was probably the lowest point in my life. I I'd moved away from home. The second I turned 18, I left. Me and my mom had a blow up, and she told me, well, that's later, but we had had a fight because I'd gotten pregnant, and so I left the day I turned 18. I went I moved in with my boyfriend at the time, my baby daddy, whatever you want to call him, and he's the father of my two oldest kids, which they're not kids now, they're grown. So all this will come to a head. I promise you. I'm telling you guys this for a reason. Hey, Ellen. No. And I'm not rushing it. There are things that I need to get out that I'm trying to think of. Because I didn't write anything down. I just wanted the Lord to flow through me today. Fast forward a couple months, I'd moved out with my baby daddy. I went back to visit my mom. I walked up and I seen my dad was in the carport, and I told my dad, I said, look, I'm leaving. I'm going to Florida. I'm moving. He wants to move to Florida. That's where his people are at. So I'm going to move down there with him. Dad took that news okay, because, me and my dad, we don't have the best relationship. We never have. It's just almost non-existent. We text each other on our birthdays and, things like that, important dates. And that's just about it, right? Anyway, I walked in the house to tell Mom that I was leaving to go to Florida. I didn't get a word out. She was so very angry with me. She was disappointed in me as what it was. And she didn't know how to express that to me. Like, we've made up, we had already made up after the fact. But anyway, she turned around and she looked at me and she told me, well, the best thing you can do is you can move to Florida with him. I don't want to be around you. My heart was completely broken. And even though, I like, even thinking on it now hurts, right? And I know that she was hurting and she wanted to lash out because I hurt her, right? I hurt her immensely by ruining my life by getting pregnant. I don't think I ruined my life. I think that this is the way the Lord wanted the trajectory of my life to go. I firmly believe that. Anyway, long story short, I walked out without telling her I was leaving. She had no idea. I left that up to my dad. A phone call 2 weeks later. Why didn't you tell me? I said, well, because the words you spoke when I went in, right? The words that you told me when I saw you, the last time I saw you, I couldn't tell you anything. It just it was like a dagger in the heart. I couldn't even speak after she told me what she told me. Anyway, all that to say, I moved to Florida, was miserable for 2 solid years down there, had 2 kids, moved back up to my hometown, which is Bristol. Again, I've doxed myself. My real name is April. The one thing that I will keep private is my last name, only because I need a little bit of privacy as well. But I moved back up here. I met my youngest two's father, or dad, because he's my ex-husband. I married him. We had a child together. Again, I was miserable. I was probably 25, 26, and I met this woman at work one day. Actually, whatever year, and you can calculate it up. I was born in 1970. Hey, Toast Driven. I was born in 1974. The year the towers fell, which I can't remember. But I remember working there at the time that the towers fell, the same place that I met this woman at. And I believe this woman was sent to me to get me to go back to church. But anyway, I'm kind of skipping over something. So I worked beside this woman, 2001. So in 2001, I met this woman who absolutely blew me away. She came into work happy. She left work happy. No matter what was thrown her way, she was always happy, 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 happy. Nothing could faze her, right? Nothing could faze her. Hey, lady, 7 Up. Love you too. Anyway, I just, because I worked beside her and had got to know her, I'm like, man, why are you so happy all the time? Can I have some of what you're having? Can I have some of what you've got? She said, honey, I get my happiness from the Lord. Come to church with me, right? She never forced it on me. She never, like, it was just one of those conversations that I had with her. Like, she never forced anything on me, right? It wasn't, she's like, just come to church with me. And I believe the next Sunday that I went, it was a Christmas cantata. So you can, in 2001, it was a Christmas cantata. And I enjoyed every single minute of it. God knows my heart, right? The weight of my heart is music, for real, for real. There's not a day that does not go by that I don't listen to some sort of music. And he drew me in. And at that time, you know, I had gotten it. I mean, just things just started falling in line. I was going to church every time the doors were opened at that church. I actually became a member of that church. Sang in their choir, did a bunch of solos and stuff like that. Started reading my Bible and doing the discipleship program. And I don't know about y'all, but I know that a lot of baby Christians, they're just so gung-ho and they want to share the good news. They want everybody else to be as happy as what they are, so they want to share it around. And at that time, I was giving a ride to another coworker, and I think I scared her to death with my love of God because she just didn't believe in it. I hope by chance some of that rubbed off on her. You know, but I was just so gung-ho. Everybody that I met, do you know that Jesus loves you? Like, Jesus loves you. And I do that now. But I'm a little bit more laid back with it and not so in your face. When I was a baby Christian, oh my gosh, that's all I wanted to talk about. That's oh, thank you, Frizz Crank. Congratulations, Frankie. Thank you for that. Anyway, so, and this continues on till, you know, I went to church faithfully. But in the meantime, you know, me and my ex-husband have been married. We were married. And while I was going to church, it kind of, because he didn't believe, and you know, he would go to church with me, but then the second he got out of church, he would start doing the same things he was doing. But, you know, just nothing fazed him. And you know, as much as I prayed for him to love the Lord as much as I did, we didn't mesh. We just didn't mesh. We had two totally different ideas on things as far as everything. You know, there was some physical abuse there, which I'm not going to go into because that's not it's part of my journey, but that's part of my journey that I'm not, that right now I'm not, doesn't involve my testimony, for sure. Anyway, I got a divorce from my ex-husband. I was probably about 32 because I stayed with him for like 10 years. 10 years too long because I was just making my kids miserable. But anyway, and after my divorce, I moved back in with my mother, or my mom. Probably one of the lowest points in my life, guys. I went from a size 14 to a 24 in the matter of 3 months. That's how depressed I was. I didn't, and I don't think at that time I had a job while I was staying with my mother. I think I didn't have a job. I was just depending on my mom. And then she kind of, I was just comfortable there, right? And she kind of stuck the boots to, and we had already made up by this time, right? I was just giving you that little piece of my history so that you guys would know, some of the things that have molded me into the person that I am today. A lot of it has to do with my mom and how quickly she forgave people, right? As long as she was able to get her feelings out, it didn't bother her after that. It didn't. And I'm that way to a certain extent. Some things still bother me to where I bring it up continuously. And you can ask my friends, I do that. Like, I had a coworker tell me that I was, or whisper under her breath, fat ass as I was walking by because she was mad at me at the time. That just rankled me, right? I know this. You don't have to remind me. I see what the mirror sees, right? Or I see what's in the mirror. There's no, can't put blinders on when you're brushing your teeth. And there's just no way. There's just no way. Anyway, off topic. I had fallen, I stopped going to church whatsoever. And I still haven't found a church where I'm comfortable. I need to do some local church shopping. And anyway, that's why I felt led to even initiate the Wednesday night Bible study. We're reading it word for word, and we're discussing what each person gets out of it. And even with the chat participates. We all have a good time. We are all blessed when we walk away. But all that to say, 3 years ago, and guys, this is where I'm going to have trouble getting through it. So just stay with me. Okay, stay with me. And if it gets too much, I'm going to cut off the camera because this is the hard part. The real hard part, right? My life's been hunky-dory. I've been just kind of skating along in my own little world, 2.5, it's either 2.5, 3 years ago. I lost my granddaughter. She was 2 months old. I lost my son. He's not physically gone, but he is in jail. He is in jail for murder of said granddaughter. Lost my other son. Because he doesn't believe that I should still love my youngest. And at the end of the day, you carry around a child for 9 months. You birth that child. You raise up that child. Like, they were all raised in church. Every single one of them, all 3 of them. Yeah. I no longer have contact with my oldest son because he refuses to believe the worst in my youngest son. Meanwhile, baby mama's not in jail, right? She's free to live her life. There was 2 adults there. I strongly believe they should both be in jail awaiting trial. But that's just my opinion, right? And opinions are like onions. Everybody has one, and more often than not, they don't smell good, right? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's a real life struggle that I'm going through. He's still in jail. Um, little less than a year ago, my daughter gets put in jail because of that great thing called drugs. So now I know. So not only do I not have contact with my 4 grandchildren from my oldest son, I don't have any way of knowing where my other 5 grandchildren are, um, because I wasn't told till after the fact. But I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a different perspective on mob mentality. When my son went to jail, because they plastered his face and all the local things, and people put it on Facebook. A lot of my friends, people I had grew up with, people I knew personally, just people I knew in general, started coming after me, and I legitimately feared for my safety. So I removed myself completely from Facebook. I lost every single picture I had of my kids from the time kindergarten on, because I was on Facebook that long, right? And I put all that stuff on there for my relatives in Michigan to do whatever, to Facebook stalk, whatever, it was there for everybody. Lost every single picture I had of my mom. And didn't think at the time that I could have backed it up. I just left Facebook, right? And now I've learned my lesson. I only let people in that I choose to let in, as far as friends on Facebook, because mob mentality is no joke, guys. It's no joke. I'm living proof. It's scary. It just terrified me. I was afraid for even a couple weeks to be without the pew pew being on my hip. That's why I don't throw judgment. And I know you've heard me mention this in other places. I refuse to lay judgment on Summer's parents. I can't. I know what that feels like. I know how that feels to be judged, even though you did nothing wrong. Nothing. It hurts, a lot of people that don't even know your story are gunning for you, man. That's not right. It's not right in any stretch of the imagination. So I refuse to judge anybody. Yeah, and so I struggle on a daily basis, guys. I struggle with intrusive thoughts. I'm as human as the next person, even though I I just want to love on people, right? And I accept them for who they are completely. And I don't look at their past. I accept them for how they treat me. Period. I still have days where I'm off, and I don't. What I'm trying to say is I'm as human as everybody else is, right? I cuss like a sailor. Ask Rabbit, she'll tell you she knows. I'm getting better at it, right? I'm getting better at it. But I'm as human as the next person. I absolutely. Hey, copy that, and everybody coming in. I am so sorry if I have not greeted you. That part of my story, my journey is really hard to get through. And my kids are still currently, my two youngest are still currently in jail. And all I can do is love them no matter what. And I rest on the knowledge. I know, Tim. I wanted to show you guys a piece of me, a side of me that you don't always get to see, right? You don't always get to see me as a real human being. I am as real. I bleed just like everybody. Like I do. Like I'm the same as you guys. And I have my faults. I've assumed things that were totally off base. And I've had to eat my socks a couple times because of it. But if I've said anything, I've said it with my whole chest, and I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm not afraid of anybody as far, I will tell you I said it, and then we can work through it. If I'm under a misunderstanding, I hope that you guys could come to me and just say, hey, no, that's not how that is, Thank you, Tim. That means a lot. All that to say, if it wasn't for God and getting on my knees every freaking day and having to give that to him every day, because the worry, the not knowing, the struggle's real, guys. The struggle's real for you. The struggle's real for me. But I lay it at the feet of Jesus every single day. And if that's what it takes to get me through it to where I can function, then that's what I'm going to do. No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I've just gotten better at hiding it, right? Because you don't want to come on here and make people sad every day. You just don't want to do that. And it's not, I've gotten better at hiding it. I've gotten better at laying it at the feet of Jesus and just letting go, because what will be, will be. I ain't got no control over it, because as mom, you want to take all that on yourself, or I do. Definitely mama bear syndrome here. I would gladly take the place of both of my children. But I rest in the knowledge that at the end of this life, I'm going to be able to go to Jesus and ask him, hey, can you tell me the reason why this had to happen? Because I may not understand it now. Because I don't understand it now. And that's okay too. It's okay. It's okay to feel out of sorts. I rest firmly in the belief that everything happens for a reason. And whatever those reasons are, I have to trust God's got our best interest at heart. Even though I have no clue what they are. And probably wouldn't like them if I did, right? So there's that. All I know is I get up every morning and I pray that God takes this pain away, because it's very, very painful to not be able to help, not be able to fix their boo-boos, right? But at the end of the day, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay anytime I have doubts. I do have a friend network that I can reach out to somebody and I can talk. I can always talk to God. God should be the first person that I go to. I mean, God shouldn't be our second choice, guys. He should be our first. Yeah. Listen, guys, I'll be the first to tell you that when everything first happened, oh, and I am definitely boogering up when it first happened. Um, I, I- I took a week off of work. The same job I have now. They know everything. They know my whole life. I've never been what's the word, secretive with them. They didn't know how to deal with it because that nothing like that had ever happened to them either. So I just let me write this down. I'm sorry. And that's one thing I can say, guys. I have the best job in the world. I have the best boss in the world. Um, another testimony, a praise report, and you've heard it from me before. I had a car before this one and drove it to work, and the transmission went completely out of it. Um, I'm sorry, I'm trying to write this and talk at the same time. Let me just write this and then I'll share that. And yes, I will. I'm writing that down, Jeffrey. All right. Um, and guys, I do take prayer very seriously, right? Everything I lay at the Lord, I never try to take back. Um, thank you. Thank you. Um, I just I felt the need to share my story kind of in its entirety, so you guys get to see beyond what I show you guys here, because I don't show you guys anything but happy. And well, except for sometimes on Bible study, and I do get boogered up because I'm convicted. And if while I'm reading I start crying, it's because He's working on me. And I want to get back to that place where I was in my 20s, where I was so strong in the Lord. It was just amazing, right? It was amazing. Um, Man, and the poems, the songs that I wrote back then, were mind blowing. I gave them all to somebody that sang or had a group, to do with what they will. I don't know if anything ever come of it, but anyway, getting back to that story, or well, part of my life that's actually happened. It happened like a year ago. This month, sometime around in there, I drove my car to work and the transmission went completely out, and I had been bumming rides from everybody at work, and I got down on my knees and I told the Lord, or I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, you've got to take this away from me. I can't do this anymore. I can't. Please, and I asked Him to make a way where there was not, because I did not see a light at the end of the tunnel. Um, I asked my boss if it would be feasible to borrow the money and just let me pay it back slowly over time. Lo and behold, car that works. God made a way where there was no way, right? Um, when I say I love my job, I truly 100% love my job. I love where I work. I love the owner. I love my bosses. It's just, I love it. And I also love God. It is. It is. He knows our names. The owner of the company walks out and knows each of us by name. And granted, we're a small company, but still, I'm on the struggle bus with names. I still don't know two of my coworkers. Like, I get them mixed up all the time, for real. Um, all that to say, every single person on this platform, every single person on this platform has their struggles. You know, it's something Rabbit said today. Even though you don't see their struggles, there's still struggles there. Um, and sometimes it just takes sitting on your hands, right? Because it's really easy to type something snarky in the chat. I've done it. You know, I've done it. Absolutely done it. I'll be the first to tell you I have. Tim, I struggle daily too. I'm on the struggle bus daily. The intrusive thoughts, the things that you just, yes. But all that to say, we all have our struggles and we all have our journey. And where your journey may not be my journey, we can still be there for one another. Even if it's just to say, hey, I'm rooting for you, and that's it. You know, hey, whatever. I mean, just a kind word goes a long way, guys. One kind word can make someone's day, and one hurtful word can break their whole freaking year. Whole freaking year. Hey, Dukes, I'm so glad to see you. By the way, guys, if you wouldn't mind praying for Dukes and Ellen and Kim Maple Syrup and Crazy Chicken Lady, just pray for each other, guys. We got we only get one ride, right? One ride. We need to make the best of it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think I'm going to end this one here because my eyes are already swollen because, you know, but y'all got to see a little bit of a different side for me today, right? It's not just funny ha ha or whatever.
I'm going to chime in a minute. First, I want to let everybody know I re-listened to my live earlier and I didn't fart. I want to clear my name. I went. That's what I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Okay, I didn't shit my britches. No, but seriously, meeting Days and knowing her story and knowing the struggles she goes through and things like that, it humbled me big time, and that's a lot of the reason that I do tell you guys a lot that I don't pass judgment on people because I know her heart. Okay, what's so funny?
I put
Whatever.
it
No,
over.
I didn't. Gosh, y'all know it if I do. Um, but knowing, think about it this way. I mean, anybody could tell you this story, and if you didn't know who they were, you didn't. If you didn't get to hear it from her, who you all know, right? Who knows what you'd be thinking? But you know her, right? I know her, and it taught me valuable lessons, very valuable lessons, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that God put her in my path, to teach me things that I never even knew
Same.
I needed to be taught. And,
Same.
it's been a beautiful thing. And, as much as she prays for everybody and she's always praying for somebody, I think that all of us need to remember to pray for her, right? She ain't going to say it for herself, but I think that she needs to be lifted up, right? From everybody. I'm going to shut up now because I'll get long winded, but I love you and I'm proud of you.
I love you too. I just, I know that there's a little bit, I went into a little bit more in depth on my son's situation on Gypsy's channel, and I know that she re uploaded that. If you want to listen to that, bring your tissues because it's a tearjerker. I was on the struggle bus more than I was today. I think as time goes by, I'm learning how to cope, right? Because it's not that I'm getting over it, because I'll never get over it. Well, thank you guys for being here and hearing me out. But all this to say, every single one of us are human. We're human, guys. We bleed red blood. And as much as you guys don't want to hear it, we all use the bathroom. That's a fact of life. We've got, if we can't count on each other, then what have we got, man? We got nothing.
Days, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm so proud of you, and I want you to know that you are one of the strongest women that I have come across ever since I came here, and probably ever. And I know that you pray for everyone and think, even the people that, don't even know it. You are praying for them, and you make me want to be better in that sense, because I too, like, sometimes will have like a thought like, that person don't deserve it, but they do. Even, we're human, we think things, but you help me like stay centered in, okay, I've got to be a better person. And I think you're super strong, and I'm so proud of you for sharing this, because this is a scary thing to do. And I
Yeah.
think you're
Yeah.
amazing. And not to be mean, but if anybody that's watching, or not in the chat, but if anybody tries to say anything, I'll get really snippy, and I will I'm gonna come out of my character. So don't do that to Days, because she is an angel. So
Well, and on the same token, I don't expect anybody to defend me. If people, let them say what they want to say. Heck, I got up on a panel the other day. Continue to talk about me. All you're going to do is bring people to my channel, and all I can do is we have fun here. They'll just stay. So,
And they'll learn about Jesus too. So you see what I mean? You know how the Lord, he used a donkey to talk, you know? So hey, let the donkeys talk. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't do the simping and the silly stuff, but when it comes to serious stuff like this, anybody that would ever try to use this as some kind of aha gotcha moment, that they will burn in the deepest parts of hell and
hmm
deserve every flame, bitch. I'm kidding.
well,
But
and
really, I mean it though. I mean, I mean, it's a honestly, your life to me is a love letter to God. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. You know what I mean? The pain, the suffering, the heartbreak, even through all of it, it's still a love letter to God. And I think that that is the most beautiful thing in the world, even through the tears, is to give people hope, and people need that. And your story is hope. It shows
yes.
unconditional love, and that's something I think people need, and they need to know there are people out there that really do love people unconditionally, and you've taught me that, and I will forever be grateful to you for that.
well, I appreciate that, Rabbit. But I did have sort of not an ulterior motive. I would just love for other people to share their testimonies, whether it's written or you come up on panel. If God has
well,
moved in your life in any way, please share it.
well, Kim said in the chat, and I agree with her, because I have felt the same way. Like, I would always want to come up when you were doing, people were sharing with you, but I was always like, oh, I don't want to, because someone's gonna say something about it, or use it against me. But I don't give a bit anymore. Pardon my
I
French.
did it fart.
Rips.
Hey,
So
Lips.
I think Kim, I think you should share. Hell, I'll share. I'll talk about me and my brother because I lost him recently, and it's, share about how I'm dealing with my grief because it's weird. Grief is weird.
It
So,
is, and I think unfortunately, we'll be in good company because so many people
Hey,
yes.
have
Honeybee.
have had to travel that road, and so many people sadly will have to travel that road, and it means everything to know that no matter what path you're traveling on, to
Hmm.
know that you're not walking alone. You're gonna walk up on a friend at some point, no matter what road you're traveling.
Yep.
We need to be those friends that walk up
Yep.
on people on their journey. When you see people having the darkest moment of their lives or what they believe is, go hold a lamp for them.
That's what I
Yes.
want to be. I want to hold the umbrella for somebody. Like I really do because even everybody everybody deserves a friend that they can, you know, count on and rely on, and I feel like I'm going to bust out in song soon. But I love y'all because Rabbit and Days, y'all teach me a lot and help me be better. So, I love you guys. I love everyone in the chat too. 'Cause y'all make
I
me
love
laugh
you
and y'all
guys
make me
too.
smile.
I just felt like maybe if I broke the ice a little bit on my channel, right? Because if I'm asking you guys to do something, I would never ask you guys to do something that I'm not willing to. I'm not willing to put myself out there and do as well. And
I think it
yeah, I
works.
praise God every single day that I'm on this side of sanity, right? Because I could have very easily fallen off the edge, very easily, and I can't do that. I've got to be strong.
Love you too, Kim.
I love you, Dukes.
Is my microphone echoing? I feel like I'm
No,
echoing.
No, you're fine.
not
Okay,
here.
cool.
Um,
Okay. Okay, cool.
so I, I love hearing praise reports. Even if it's something as simple as God made a way to fix my hot water. I mean, and I still look up at the clouds and it amazes me. Just everything amazes me, right? Come to the Lord as a little child would. Um, so I, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. I just wanted to. That is my testimony, and I didn't even get into that I'm a function that I am in recovery. I'm an addict. I fell into that trap after my mom passed away,
You're not
and
alone,
I'm in
Days.
recovery to this day.
Yep.
And I mean, everything else aside, He's granted me another day. I'm going to bless Him any way I can, and I'm going to thank Him any way I can. Life's too short to be angry all the time. Life's too short to be sad all the time.
Hell
Lips
yeah.
farted. I heard it.
And I want to say, love you, crazy chicken lady, love you, lips, because they said it to me and I want to make sure I say it back. But I want to tell everybody that in the chat, if you are in recovery or you are working towards recovery, we are, and I especially am super proud of you because that is probably one of the hardest battles that anyone will ever face. And it doesn't just affect us, it affects like everyone around you. So, big, big deal. Big kudos to everyone that's in recovery. So, I had to say that.
Hi,
Yes,
Kiki. Hi,
y'all made
Appalachian
it. You did it.
Yes.
Granny.
Yeah. You go, recoverers. We love you. I'm proud of
Recoverers,
you.
we do recover.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm
You
thankful
do.
that all you all are here. I live in the gosh dang, well, it used to be the pill capital of the freaking universe, right? I've seen people I've seen people make it, and I've known too many that haven't. So you guys were all, given a second chance. Just use it wisely, because a lot of people didn't make it, but y'all did.
We did.
Biz
We sure
Crank.
did.
Biz Crank, I'm not judging for you drinking your beer. Enjoy your beer.
At the end of the day, all I wanted to express, and a lot, other than, maybe hearing somebody else feeling the need to tell their testimony, by all means, please, if you have a channel, share your testimony. If you don't have a channel, you're welcome to share your testimony here. I'd love to get back into doing that, letting people share their stories. I know it's scary. I know it's scary. And if you wanted me to private that video after you shared your story, people that were here live, if that's a stipulation, that would be a stipulation. That's my very first love. That's why I started this channel, was to help people. Because sometimes talking about what's happened to you helps you. Just verbalizing it
Well, I'll
helps
tell you
you.
this, as a watcher, every time somebody shared a story, I got a brand new respect for them, because God, there's some tough birds in
Hmm.
this
Yes.
nest around here.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Like, y'all make me feel like a wuss. Y'all have been through it, and you come out glowing, come out shining. And I love that.
Oh, see that in the background, guys? That's what I built this weekend. That's got my yarn in it. And there's only one bin that is empty.
She was
I
Bob
have
the
an
Builder this
obsession.
weekend.
So crafty.
She
But
is. Look,
anyway,
I'm
I
staring
am
all
going
at
to.
her. Wait, let us look at your background a minute. We're looking. We're looking at your
Oh,
bicycle and your lights and your crafty corner and all your yarn. And where's Frankie?
I love
he's
your
somewhere.
pink aesthetic.
Oh, that's my whole darn apartment. Everybody's amazed with it. You can actually see my sewing machine. My sewing machine's beside that big long cubby thing. That's my sewing corner, and then this is where I crochet. At my computer desk is where I crochet.
And Tim,
No,
back
it's not.
there is where you are going to eat soup when you go on your bike ride.
Yes.
You
Y'all
people and your soup.
gotta go live or document it or take pictures or something. Have a good time.
Yeah, live karaoke. That'd be the coolest thing ever.
Oh
Fun
yes.
fact: my bike is not pink. It is yellow. It is a Margaritaville bike. It's got a bottle opener on it too, for
I wish
whatever
my
reason.
husband would let me have the house pink. That would be badass, but I guess not.
Heck yeah. YOLO. See, Tim and Days be eating all
YOLO.
that soup. Y'all be eating chicken water a lot.
It's not just chicken water. It's vegetables, carrots, celery, onions, all the good stuff. I need to get it cut again. It's getting down to where my purse is. I'm hooking on it. I hate it. It
Y'all
was
all
just
okay, I've noticed y'all all have really nice hair. Like Gypsy, you
Yeah,
got
not
nice
me.
hair. Oh, Rabbit, you've got beautiful hair. Hush.
Sounds like a baby doll's hair.
And Days, your hair is beautiful. Tim, your head is beautiful.
Tim,
I
don't
don't know
you?
if you're.
And Lulu, you're just beautiful, period. So hush.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
the
She's just
it's
the
the
all around
filter.
beauty.
It's the
How gorgeous.
filters.
Look at her.
Oh, y'all stop.
Everybody
It's the
look at Lulu.
filter in
Everybody
me.
point.
Point and laugh. Woo!
Gorgeous.
I've seen you live, so trust me. What you're looking at is what. That's it. You look. We know that you are gorgeous. Okay, you don't have to be. What do you call it? Humble.
Be
Let it
humble.
flaunt, honey.
Sit down. Sorry.
And anybody I missed greeting, just know I
Frankie,
see you
you
and
are a
I'm glad
rat's
you're
nest.
here. But I am going to end this one here because I've still got to eat all the things, get
What are you
myself
gonna eat
ready.
for dinner?
Soup,
I knew it. I'm eating
What
hot
kind of
dogs.
soup?
chicken, vegetable.
Yum.
Chicken water.
Do you eat crackers with your soup? I'm just curious. It's just random. Ritz crackers or saltines?
Saltine.
Oh
Ritz
my gosh,
crackers.
you and my husband. I hate saltines. I have to do Ritz crackers with my soup.
Yeah, I can't look. I got real offended. I got a salad at where the
Hey,
heck did I get that?
Forrest.
I got a salad somewhere. I can't remember where it was, and I got so mad because oh, I know where it was. It was Double Quick, and I was like, hey, I need some crackers, and they gave them to me, and they were friggin' saltine crackers. Like, that's offensive with a salad. That just don't work. Mm.
Forrest, I shared my testimony, like, basically my life story. Only because, one thing is because I didn't want other people to have that power over me, right? Because I tell you what, I was hiding a lot of that. Like, a lot of the stuff that I told you guys, I've been hiding for as long as I've had a channel, right? Too scared to even say anything about it. And until I went up on Gypsy's channel, and I felt like, why hide what I'm going through? I want people to know that I am a real human being that has faults and flaws, warts and all, right? I wanted you guys to see me, warts and all, and share my testimony and know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that there's grace, and God loves you, right? God loves you, because I don't know that I could get through this without, I know I wouldn't have got through this without God.
Zena, what in the world is dill pickle potato soup?
I like potato soup, but I've never heard of dill pickle potato soup.
Hey, AK-47.
Yeah, I think
Hi,
that it's just
Sandy.
having some humanity. You know what I mean? Just being okay with
Yes.
just being humane or humane, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be normal.
Mhm.
I
So,
wouldn't know about that.
and another thing before I go, those creators that think that they have to tone themselves down because I come in the chat, please don't. I love you no matter what. I wouldn't be there if I didn't. So by all means, be yourself. Um, if people can't accept you at 100, they don't deserve your 50. And that's the truth.
She
Daisy is
won't
a
judge you. She'll just
firecracker.
pray for you.
Yeah, but she's a firecracker. Like, don't let it fool you. She's fun.
All right,
She's a
guys.
good time.
I will end this one here. And yes, I do talk with my hands, even though they're below the camera, that they've been going a mile a minute, right? Y'all, we're not promised tomorrow. So reach out to someone that you haven't talked to in a while and let them know that you're rooting for them or that you're in their corner. If you can't do that, smile at a stranger. They'll either smile back or they'll think you're crazy. And to me, that's a win-win either way, right? It's a win-win. Somebody noticed you, right? And above all else, on these YouTube streets, show a little bit of grace. You just don't know what somebody's going through if they type something negative in the chat. Maybe take an extra 30 seconds to see if they put some context beside it or below it. Yes, they can't fire strong. And I don't know
And
that. Oh, go ahead.
don't accuse people of farting or you will get a cease and desist.
Sorry. I'm going to chime out. See y'all later.
Ooh, coming out. I'm peacing out too. Love you, bye.
Same, Tim.
Love you,
Same.
Days.
Love you
Proud of
guys.
you. Did great.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. But yes, I don't know. Let me look and see if there's anybody that I recognize going. Oh, Brad is live. So if you guys, Campfire Crew, if you want to head out and show Brad some love, Brad in low, Crack 40 TV, show him some love. He's just a regular old Kentucky boy trying to make it on these YouTube streets, right? Go show him some love from the Campfire Crew. All right, guys. Y'all have a good evening. Bye.